In this DBT Quick Tips video, we're going to be covering how to make a chain analysis. Now, this is one of the most powerful tools you're going to learn in DBT. And just like mindfulness, it's going to be following you throughout the entire process. And I'd really say that making a chain analysis is really a life skill. It's something that it's not just, DBT clients use on a regular basis, but also DBT clinicians and any psychologist really that's a committed in a behavioral tradition of treating people. Because, well, a chain analysis is really a method by which we break down our behaviors into smaller parts. Now, I'm sure you guys do this on a regular basis. You kind of confront a big life issue and it just seems too big. So what do? You break it into smaller, more manageable pieces. And by hitting each individual piece, you're able to solve the bigger problem. Well, that's really what a chain analysis does, just on steroids. Now, there's 8 steps in creating a chain analysis, and we're going to review that in this video. So the point of a chain analysis is figuring out, really identifying, step 1, what's the problem behavior? What did you do that you felt, man, I don't want to go to that place again? Yelling at your wife, hitting your kids, blowing up at your boss, whatever you would define as ineffective behavior that's setting your life back. That's step 1. So you kind of make a little circle, and notice the diagram here I'm going to put up on the screen. It's easier to visualize this, that you're literally drawing out a whole chain of events leading up to that problem behavior. So you try and identify what is it exactly that you don't want to be doing. Step 2 is figuring out, okay, well what's the prompting behavior that started the chain, that eventually led you to that problem behavior. And those steps that lead you to that problem behavior are the different links on this chain. Now, I'd really suggest, to make this not so complicated, when you make your chain analysis, to think of a time frame of maybe an hour or 2 hours at most. If you want to really be ambitious, you can definitely go farther back than that. It just becomes too much information to be useful. So you're within each chain that's leading up to this problem behavior, you kind of want to track, well, what was the thought, what was the feeling, and then what was the behavior that led to the next moment. So you say, what the problem behavior is, you yelled at your boss. He wasn't so happy that you were late for work, and Mr. Jenkins, man, I can't believe again that you were late. We really have to set a time to talk and discuss your future here at the accounting firm. Okay, well, maybe that prompting event that day started all the way back going to sleep at 3 in the morning. What were your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors at that moment of going to sleep at 3 in the morning? And maybe a couple chains back, what led you to go to sleep at that late hour? And okay, waking up, what state of mind were you in when you finally rolled out of bed after hitting the snooze button 10 times? That would be another chain, hitting the snooze button. And what were you thinking, feeling, and acting out in that moment? And what was going on in your head when you were driving to work? A person might be feeling a lot of tension, might be thinking, man, is my boss going to give it to me? And as far as the behaviors, maybe driving erratically. Maybe there were a couple incidences where cars almost hit you, because maybe you also almost hit them. Finally, leading to the problem behavior of your boss asking to have a meeting with you and you blowing up, calling the guy an idiot, and walking out in a fume. The step 3 in making a chain analysis is figuring out, what are the vulnerabilities that exist that kind of surround the chain. Maybe for the past month, you haven't been getting enough sleep. Maybe there is a drinking problem on the table we got to take care of. Maybe things aren't so great in the marriage, having a lot of fights with your spouse. These are things that don't exactly fit into the chain, but they're in the air and are probably influencing you in ways that are sending your life in a particular direction in a more indirect way, but in a more encompassing way. And step 5 is describing the consequences, what followed the problem behavior. So, walking out in a fume against your boss in a situation like that, well, maybe the consequences, you lost your job. Once you have this chain analysis set up, the beauty of it is that it's a map. It's a map to solving the problems of life. And if you really set your mind to it and really get committed to developing the skill, what you're going to find, you're making a chain analysis, maybe 1 or 2 a day. So you might have at the end of the month, 60 chain analyses, but you'll probably notice there's maybe the same problem or maybe 2 repeating itself over and over and over. So that's really important to know because it really minimizes the problem you have to address. Maybe it's that you don't have 60,000 issues in your life that you have to sort out. It's just a mountain to overcome. Maybe it's 1 or 2 things, again, that repeat themselves over and over and over in your life. So when you have this map, seeing this pattern that keeps playing itself out over and over and over, well, step 6 is starting to think, okay, well, in each chain, in each part of your chain analysis, is there a skillful behavior you can slip in there? Is there a DBT skill that you can use in that moment? Maybe you need to use a stop skill. Maybe you need to use one of the tip skills. And there's videos on these you can check out, after you watch this video. But there's all sorts of, with every module, mindfulness, emotional regulation, interpersonal skills that you could slip in at every step of the way in this chain. That maybe that would just one or two tweaks is enough to turn this one around and avoid the problem behavior and improve your life dramatically. Step 7 is thinking about, well, how would you address vulnerabilities? Maybe there's prevention plans you need to put in place to tackle those issues so the whole ball doesn't get started to begin with. And finally, step 8 is repair. Thinking about all the important relationships that these issues have damaged. Maybe there are people that you need in your life that would actually make things a whole lot easier. Well, by coming to them, apologizing, showing you've really put a lot of thought and you're trying to put your life together, well, you're not just sucking up, you're not just, making people feel good, but you're actually creating resources for yourself, people that maybe now they're people you can rely on, that want to step up to the plate and be there for you as a support, increasing the likelihood that your life's going to get better. One way of thinking about apologies is sure, it's a good thing to recognize other people's pain and what you've caused them, and that a large part of repairing a relationship is for other people. But I think a much bigger part of apologizing to people is repairing things for yourself. We're not islands. We're not lone gunmen going through life. People need people. And the more people that are in your life that want to help you out, the farther you're going to go and the happier you're going to be. So those are the 8 steps to making a chain analysis. And I hope this video was helpful. If it was useful, go ahead and give it a like. If you want to leave me a comment, you can pop the comment in the comment box below, or you can check out my website and shoot me an email. I'll see you in the next video.